Right, in theory, we should be live. Let me just make sure. Because I had to reset. There we go. Yeah, we are. Cool. Yeah, so I tried resetting Streamlabs OBS so that chat would work again, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. Oh great. I relinked both Twitch and YouTube. Still nothing. So yeah, I apologize. I will see what I can do. Wow, that is big, but not wide. Bear with. I deleted the chat box last time. So it works. Twitch chat works. But not YouTube chat apparently. Wonderful. Um ba, 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 ba. Let me is it Oh no, it's working YouTube again. Huzzah! Right, okay. That's what I need to do. That? How's that? Alright? Cool. Wow. Glad we got it working again. Nice. Right. Hello to John, hello to Simon, and hello to Joe. How you guys doing? Nice things. Anyone else feeling sick as a dog? I mean, yes, but not for the same reasons you do. I'm doing the irresponsible thing and working because money and food. Gotta eat, gotta live. Joe, I have an issue with you that I need to talk about. Well, that seems very serious. But go right ahead. Makes me sick how fast your hair grows. It's quite a lot. Yeah. Down to my knees before I know it. Not gonna shave a bit the sides. I have a haircut booked for it is a couple of weeks. I'm going to a good friend's wedding, so I would have had it like this week, because it kind of needs it, but because I'm going to his wedding, I basically booked it for like a couple of days before I go down to see him. So that it's as it's kept as it can be for the wedding. So unfortunately, you lot are gonna have to put up with it for a couple more weeks, as am I. I get roughly 0.1 centimeter growth in about 3 months. Yeah, I definitely get more than that. Yeah, I mean it's I don't know. It's almost at my mouth now, so yeah. Is it at an annoying length? Not really. It's like because I'm just pushing it all back, it just kind of sits out the way, really. Just use a ton of gel and go as Prohibition era mafioso. Do you know what? No, no. Uh, hello, Simon. Internet is down watching from my phone. Well, feel free to not burn out your data watching my idiocy. But glad to have you. To be fair, it looks like a good length there. It is. It's getting there. It's not quite long enough for let's say what I want, but it will be eventually. Oh, I had the appointment that I haven't talked much about on Monday. Good news, I got the result I wanted. Bad news, I'm still not really happy about it. Don't do a mullet like kids today. No, 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 no. I'll stick to growing my beard out. It's about 9 inches now. Still a bit to go. But this is about as best as I can ever do, and it will go away at some point. So um, yeah. I can't talk about it, but towards the end of October, there should be some interesting tech to for us to discuss. Um, I can't say more, but actually, what I can say what I can say about is I uh so I'm testing a monitor. I've filmed most of it. I need to film a bit more tomorrow and then edit it. You'll see it next Friday, I think. Um, and it's rather interesting. So it is an R LCD panel, reflective light, liquid crystal display. Um, which basically, if you remember, like the original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, those displays didn't have backlights. They just had displays that you had to shine light onto them for that to work. And this is basically the same thing, except it's a full 32-inch monitor. Now, for that panel's intended purpose, which is digital signage and outdoor usage, it makes so much sense. It's fantastic. Because it doesn't have its own backlight, it uses, the sun as the backlight. You get perfect a perfect viewing experience even in direct sunlight. In fact, it's actually the more light you can shine on it, the better it looks. The problem is they've put it in an indoor monitor. And that goes about as well as you might think it does. So a little bittersweet in the appointment then, but I got to keep in the positive side of things. She definitely looks sprightlier today. Not sure sprightlier is the word, but you get me. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that that's the impression I'm getting. I've been my general mental state has been pretty iffy over the last like several months, um, because of the steroids that I'm on that are affecting it, and a lot of other conditions. Uh, Today has been quite a long day. I think I'm very tired, but this is my last hurrah of energy before I crash. So you're welcome. In fact, I had some blood taken yesterday. I have to have bloods taken every at 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and then every 3 months for the rest of my life, probably. That's fun. The problem is that they took the blood yesterday, and then they called me this morning and said, "Hi, we're really sorry, but the blood machine that we have kind of exploded with your blood in it. We need more blood to be able to do the tests. Please come back in today." I was like, "Fuck, I don't have time for this." Okay, so I went back in, and they stabbed me in this arm. No, and then they decided that they couldn't get any blood out of that hole, so they stabbed me in the same hole they stabbed me in yesterday, and then they really like rooted around in there to find the vein. Like that's probably the most uncomfortable I've been while having my blood taken. I've had my blood taken a lot. Uh, so yeah, it's been a day. Uh, so yeah. Oh no, to give it back. The blood of the monster. I think I know that one gimmick. That it can be useful but pricey. Yes, very pricey, very pricey. Sanity? No, that's gone forever. Hello, Essentialist. How you doing? I hate CS2. Do you know what? So do I. So do I. Sat there gaming on the head torch on. That's not actually a bad idea. I should have thought of that. I do have a head torch. So would it? In fact, I need to film a couple more bits tomorrow. That might be a very funny, funny clip to add in. um, you up for CS2 after? As I've just said, I'm very tired. So no, unfortunately. I it's probably gonna be an early night, at very least. Um, Chris, please no. Well, hello, Chris. How you doing? How's things? Good to have you. I haven't had dinner either. It's just been CS2 depression. Well, I mean, stop playing CS2 and you won't be so depressed. But you should have dinner. But skins. Go get an addiction with like real gambling or something. That's at least, you know, you have a chance of winning some real money. That's bad advice. Don't do that. Now, welcome to my CS:GO gambling skins website. What's Sue got to do with this? And Kazakh football. All right, let's get back on track. I have the PCBs, the newest version of the PCBs for my bed cooler. Um, the biggest thing is these chips. These are proper level shifters. I also found out that the temperature probe that I have, that I thought was a, you know, thermocouple, is actually an NTC. Um, uh, I can't remember what NTC stands for, but it's just a resistor that changes its resistance. It's a thermistor, that's the word. I did also add pull-up resistors for the sense lines for the 4-pin fans, got them working. Added much bigger electrolytic capacitors and higher, lower resistance, higher current, or higher wattage rated resistors for the built-in fans. So yeah, that's that's that. I need to solder in the headers and stuff, so that I can actually use the damn thing. I've already put the foam on the bed. We've been sleeping on it for a couple of days now, and it feels fine, so that's good. And now I need to actually hook this up to see if the cooler works and if it will actually do the job of heating and cooling the bed. And then I can make a video on it finally. I've only been working on that for like 3 months. Don't design entire projects. It's just too much effort. He says, 4 projects deep. Oh, tech question, when filming out and about, how do I eliminate the annoying motion blur stuttering from cameras? All my cameras max at 4K 30, so I'm thinking I might just have to put up with it. I never noticed it too much before, as I was recording my studio with little to no movement, but vlogging lately I've noticed I noticed it and it's awful to see. So what you're looking for is the shutter speed or shutter angle. The the frame rate does matter in terms of the smoothness of the video for sure, but the blurring that you see, like if I wave my hand, what you're seeing is just a blurry mess there, whereas this hand that's staying still is, you know, not, is nice and crispy. That's because the shutter angle on my camera is set to 1/50 to match any lighting that might be on that, well, isn't, but when I do have, when I use this for video calls and things, for press calls and stuff, you know, I might have lights on. So if I were to change the shutter angle to, say, 1/100, it would be much smoother. It'd also be dimmer, or it would need to compensate by raising the ISO, or opening the aperture, or no, those are the main 2 things. Uh, um, I think my camera set to f4.5. It's a Sony a 5100, 6100, something like that. With the kit lens. So yeah. Yeah, so it's the shutter speed. Um, you can leave them. The reason that I set it to 1 over 50, or that you might want to set it to 1 over 100, is because UK lights often flicker at 50 hertz. That's their what you call it? The frequency of our grid. And so if you set the shutter speed to 1 over 50 or a multiple of that, then you basically miss the flickers, like it syncs well, so you don't see the flickering happen. So what you can do, it also depends on what your how often you're changing between areas. But if you set it to say 1 over 100 or 1 over 150, and sort of lock it there, especially if you're outside regularly, you're going to get very smooth motion, and then the ISO and aperture can be left on auto to auto adjust. I suppose aperture doesn't normally auto adjust, but uh, yeah, uh, the ISO at very least will be able to move up and down, perhaps at the cost of more noise though. So leave up to you. Hello Jim. How you doing, man? How's things? Uh, could be worse. Could be the nicest Friday, day off in a while, perfect for motorbiking. You stuck at home sweating and not being able to talk. Well, best of luck. At least I have Ted here annoying me and batting the crap off my table. Is that your, I assume, dog? Um, the noise is cinematic. 24 FPS. Um, Cats. Ah, right. Cats, bat stuff. True. I have never had a pet. Theodore, the grumpy bastard. Nice. 60 FPS video, $50 a year wallpaper service, mid-tech reviews. Oh yeah, we should talk about that. Right. Okay. Here we go. So, MKBHD. You know him, you maybe love him, maybe don't. I don't know. Um he launched an app this week. Um it's a wallpapers app, like for your phone, the thing that I haven't changed from the stock OnePlus one, because this looks kind of cool, and I don't really care. And even the actual background is the like the OnePlus like movable like one. Yeah, I don't care, but some people do. Some people care about the wallpaper backgrounds that he uses in his videos, and so made an app that gives you those wallpapers. There was a lot of ads in it, which was already a bit of a bad sign, but more so, I heard two different prices. One of them is $50 a year, and one of them was $12 a month. I don't know whether it was like there was some like bundle discount kind of thing where if you just bought the year one, you get it for $50, but if you pay monthly, you get it for 12. That's such an insane difference. I don't really understand. But anyway, um yeah, so uh so yeah, that was something. Um Interestingly, so the use of AI was allowed to generate the wallpapers, which a lot of people didn't like. Uh, it had yeah, so apparently it wanted access to track basically everything on your device, like location permissions and a load of stuff, which it shouldn't have done. I think that was updated and removed, but I'm not entirely sure because all of this is like eighth-hand, Reddit information for me. So, uh, and what else? What else? What else? A lot of the wallpapers were apparently from a site that I can't remember the name of, but gives you the wallpapers for free anyway. So, posted in stream chat. Let me have a look. Oh, that's bad. So wait, okay, hold on. So you can pay for the app annually at $50 or $12 a month. That is insane. And then the app privacy, it wanted location, usage data, diagnostics, identifiers, contact information, and purchases. That's quite a lot. But then you could also purchase specific ones. So, just to clarify, by paying for the panels plus, do you get those individual ones for free, or do you still have to pay for them? Wallhaven, that's the one. Apparently, a load of the wallpapers were taken, I assume, with consent. From Wallhaven. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, they actually wanted the usage data. Oh no. Oh no. Why? Marquez, why? So anyway, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because so as someone who understands how you make money on YouTube, my napkin maths for how much like money Marquez must be making, not including the this app, is in the like probably tens of millions a year. Now, admittedly, he does have a studio and a bunch of employees, and like a lot of expenses that help run the channel. In the same way that Linus is in the easily in the tens of millions a year, if not more than that. But again, he has all of the employees. He has the offices. Like, there's lots of let's say resource drains that require them to make that money. But the thing is that it why this? Like, of all of the things that he will have been, because he won't have personally developed this, right? Like, it's not like me with the response time tool where I am the one sitting here, designing PCBs and testing stuff on my monitors with my oscilloscope on my desk, right? I'm the one writing the code for all this stuff. I'm the one who's building them and shipping them worldwide. Like, he's not the one doing that. This is an app development company who will have made this that he's, signing off on, whatever. Which, totally fair enough. But, like, he must be pitched ideas like this constantly. Why was this the one he said yes to? Did he really think that he was going to make that much money from this app that it's worth the reputation hit, the fan base hit, the you know the the viewership hit potentially. Um, you really think that people are gonna go for that? I don't know. I don't know. Money corrupts. Not everyone, and not everyone to the same degree, but often. I mean, yes, that's for sure. Um, my favorite quote in that vein is from Akala. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but absolute powerlessness does the same. I might be cynical, but Linus, for example, just happened to be working on a mod mat after he got hurt by GN and selling it for cheaper, and works with the OG company that patented the mod mat. Come on. Uh, I mean, yeah, yeah. Well, it's clear Linus is not a perfect person. No one is. But, yeah. I can go on Flickr and probably get the same, if not better quality wallpapers. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Even with all the consideration, he's clearly making significant profits every year that he does. He makes huge returns from advertising deals outside of YouTube as well. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing is that like YouTube ad revenue is not an insignificant portion. Like it's probably 50% of my income, right? But even just extrapolating the same level of ad buy that I get to his viewership, which it doesn't track. He probably makes more per ad than I do. Um, but anyway, let's pretend. Um, like that's millions on his own for him. And then you have like affiliate links, you have the sponsorships and ad buys and stuff outside. Sponsorships, especially for him, I don't think he does as many. So, like, obviously with Linus, he does up to two a video, So, like, he goes hard on that. Whereas I think Marquez generally does at most one in a video, but not every video. So, although he also only does videos every like week or whatever, compared to Linus's many. Um, but yeah, my biggest problem with Linus is he cannot admit when he's wrong. He's always trying to explain how he isn't. Yeah, I mean, so he's not exactly neurotypical, which isn't helping him, but he is also quite. Yeah. Um, sure of himself. 50% of the YouTube revenue comes from the Orbiter video. It actually used to. It was legit. Like, I mean, not 50%, but it was legit. Um, yeah. Uh, the price is lower because the volume is larger. Yeah, but it was really childish. I still watch a lot of the videos, but that annoyed me. Yeah, fair. I don't know the guy. Linus still can't pronounce vague and plague. um, I mean, I don't know him exactly super well. I have spoken to him a couple times. I have met him in person at Computex actually. But yeah. Well, I've actually met Steve from Gamers Nexus in person, and probably just because I was kind of interrupting things. He was a lot more upset to see me than than Linus was. I met Jay at the same time. Like Jay and Linus were at the MSI booth, no less, while I was there. And yeah, Jay was even less impressed to see me. Not the upside down Steve. No, I've not met Underground Steve. um, Steve from Gamers Nexus. Not Gamers Nexus. Fuck. Harbor Unboxed. Although I have spoken to Tim a bit, including during the development of the response time tool, to talk about response time methodologies. What do you think about the LG 27GS60F-B or the 24-inch? It's 180 hertz. Is 180 hertz typically worse when used at 60? So I haven't reviewed any LG monitors in quite a long time. So I can't give you any first-hand information on that one. Is that the 1080p one though? 180 hertz monitors generally aren't particularly bad at 60 hertz. They're often normally slightly better than a 60 hertz display because they're generally faster panels than 60 hertz displays. But yeah, yes, it is. Okay, so personally, I really don't like 27-inch 1080p. The pixel density just isn't great. If you're gonna stick with 1080p, I would personally go with 24-inch. Otherwise, get 1440p 27-inch. There are a couple of pretty nice ones that aren't heinously expensive. I'm not sure how much that LG one is for comparison's sake, but yeah. CMG is very two-sided. At some points, they bend over backwards to give the consumer the best advice. On the other hand, they bend over backwards for some brands. LMG Labs is also a complete crapshoot. If you want to know how if a PSU is good, ask Harbor Busters. Well, the Ask Harbor Busters front is a great shout anyway. They in fact they actually have response time and latency tools. But they have their own. I am thinking of the right people, that they have their own hardware standards, right? For power supplies, or am I misremembering people? Perfectly possible. That's the one. It is. Yeah. So Corsair is actually moving away from 80 plus, like 80 plus gold, platinum, bronze, etc., to Harbor Busters, cybernetics certification process as of a couple months ago now, actually. But yeah, why not get both certs? I mean, personally, I think I would, but yeah. I don't use 1440p monitor because I only play a game that works at 60 hertz and 1080p on the PS5. Fair enough. It gets blurry. Fair play. I mean, so in that case, I would personally opt for a 24-inch, 1080p. A 180 hertz monitor should work just fine and should look pretty good. In fact, as I said, it should look better than a 60 hertz native panel. I would personally look for a 1080p IPS display that is 24 inches and 165, 180 hertz, something like that. Which I assume the LG 24-inch one is as well, but yeah. But if you use a console, it's probably sit a bit further from the screen than the PC gamer. I mean, he's asking about a 27-inch monitor. I assume that he's sat at a desk like same distance, you know, PC gamer would be. If we're talking about TVs or something, then that would be a different story. But yeah, I mean, it does depend on how far you are sitting from it. John is right, LS. But yeah, if you're sat at a desk like you would at a, you know, at a PC, then I would get 27. I would get 24-inch 1080p. Whereas if you are a bit further away, then 27-inch shouldn't be too bad. Uh, Paul seems like the nicest one. Actually, I can tell you he is, because I on that very same trip, I ended up going to the Taiwanese National Museum with him and Jennifer, who at least at the time was Wendell's manager and then like swapped to being Paul's, if I remember rightly. And yeah, Paul was absolutely lovely. Very, very nice. Well, actually, him and Wendell are both very nice. Very nice people. But of course, Wendell is um, just just ludicrously well informed. Thanks. I think 24 is really 23.8. It's too small. I'm used to 24.5. So yeah, the naming scheme size is 24, which is 23.8, and then 25, which is 24.5. 22 inch is actually 21.5 as well. But yeah. For context, I do have a 24-inch, 23.8 1080p monitor. Admittedly, it is a portrait display, which it really shouldn't be because it's a TN panel and that's really not good. But hey, it works. I've had that monitor. In fact, that was my primary gaming monitor for like a couple years, and then I swapped to 27-inch 1440p. Or if you watch their Twitch, when there's a desperate loot bug. Do you know what? That tracks. That tracks. Yeah, having used a lot of monitors, I can't say that I've noticed the difference between a 24 and a 25-inch monitor. Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's a massive difference for me, but obviously that's personal preference, and if that's what you're after, then fair play. There are some 24.5, 25-inch 1080p monitors that might be a good shout, but it's definitely less common than 24. And again, you might find that 27-inch is okay for you at 1080p. It's just everyone's preference, really. And again, how far you sit from the display. Certainly cost per unit, as well as the upfront cost per type, e.g. 750, then 850, each big bucks cost for testing. Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason for going, not just getting both certifications. Oh, interesting. 590 and 580, RTX 580 and 590 leaked. 32 gigs of GDDR7 for the 5090, 600 watt. Yeah. Versus, oh god, 256-bit GDDR7, 16 gigs, 400 watt for the 5080. Well, they're definitely leaving some room there for 24 gig card, aren't they? What's the code name for this one? GB. We had Ampere last, didn't we? So 600 watt through the 12 volt high power connector, burning disco inferno. I mean, it is rated for Blackwell. Thank you. It is rated for 600 watts, just. But for those of you playing along at home, that is all four 8-pin power connectors if you don't have a native 12-volt high power connector. 8-pin connectors are rated for 150 and can comfortably do 350 without melting. Yes, I know. I'm using the 8-pin EPS for these, but these do 300 watts just fine. And then I'm using what is essentially a PCIe power connector for the decks themselves. So 4 circuits. Each circuit, I think, can do. I think they're rated for 8 amps per circuit. But each of my techs is only rated for 6. So the leak is Twitter screenshots that essentially this is put in the Discord from Kopite7Kimi. Kopite 7 Kaimi. From today? Yeah. From a couple hours ago today. I have a nice Corsair RM750X, which doesn't support the 16-pin thing, and don't want to use bloody adapters. Hopefully I managed to find something used with a normal 8-pin. I want to say that most of the new stuff is all 12-volt high power, I'm afraid. I mean, you might be able to. Some brands might, but they'd have to well what you call it, redesign the power delivery a bit. I mean, technically wooden is still the same, but it takes up a lot more space to have 4 8-pin CPU power connectors. Let's give it a bot. Alexa Hunter, hello, welcome. One thing that's I've just noticed looking at the screenshots. Oh, you can just get a cable from Corsair. Nice. What looking at the screenshots for the 5090 and the 5080 is that looking at the core count for the CUDA core count, the 5090, at least in the leak anyway, is listed at 21,760, whereas the 5080 is listed at just 10,752. That means that there's literally half the number of cores in the 5080 is 4080, which is kind of mad. John. Oh, I'm not logged into Twitch on the. That's stupid. If you happen to join the Discord, there is a link in the stream chat. But Corsair will sell you a high power cable. Essentialist, I'm afraid you can't do that. I'll at some point I will relog into the Twitch chat on Lobs. Yeah, Corsair do just sell a cable that should work if you're interested. Something you might be interested in. My friend just put a deposit down on a new car. Jiku. J7 looks interesting. Rangy clone, third of the price, but 1.6. I'm definitely let's call it suspicious of the clone cars. Um, yeah. Uh, what was it? There was I think a Moda car. Basically there was a video of I think it was an Amoda car with the rear axle no longer attached, and someone the video had a little look, and the it just wasn't bothered to be welded. There was two tiny tack welds holding the rear axle on, and yeah, yeah. That's the one. Um, yeah, it just wasn't well at all. Because the fact that in those pictures there's oxidation under where the metal was sitting means that it wasn't actually welded. It should be fused, and therefore no space for oxidation or rusting. Um, I know that that is only a single incident, but that is the sort of incident that should never get out of the factory. That is a very, very safety critical issue, and it is not the sort of thing that you'd find on, let's say, a German vehicle. 1.6 hybrid. It had really good reviews on YouTube. It's a sister brand of a Moda. Well, best of luck. Yeah. Sales assistant said there are 5 more Chinese brands migrating to the UK in the next 3 months too. Seems to be a common new thing. Well, the thing is that when I go to the SMMT test day at Millbrook, there are an increasing number of Chinese brands there. Amoda, the other one. They make a small electric car. I can't remember. Yeah, Jayco. Who else? There were a couple more as well, but I keep forgetting one. BYD, yeah, that's one for sure. Doesn't Tesla have questionable QA too? So yes, but also, generally speaking, Tesla's questionable QA is like body panels not being quite aligned right, or the paint not being right, or like interior trim pieces like falling off, not the whole like rear axle falls out of the car as you're driving because they didn't bother to weld it. Like, to be clear, Elmo is real. You know, he's speed running like corporate failure. Uh, Specifically with the Cybertruck, um, but like that one has had some more serious issues, like the accelerator pedal cover sliding off because it wasn't secured, or bits of sharp stainless steel trim pulling off because they're not secured, or the car just braking constantly, like rear motor steering assist failures, like, you know, literally driving it off of the lot and then it immediately goes red and shuts down, and then you have to get it towed the 3 meters back into the lot again. Um, so yeah, yeah, he's trying. uh, I mean, the story I heard of SpaceX is that he, at least for a while, had an entire team of people under him that would basically shield his idiocy from the actual engineers who are like actually running the show and designing the stuff. Like, he would come in and say, we should do this, and then the team would all, like, basically gaslight him to make sure that he, was happy, and he'd leave again, and then they could go back to actually like doing the correct stuff that they needed. So yeah, whereas he didn't have that with Tesla, and he definitely doesn't have that with. It's drive-by-wire that will be always be unsettling to me with Tesla. I think you mean steer-by-wire, because cars have been drive-by-wire for a long time. So the thing with cars is that what matters is redundancy. So with an accelerator pedal, since basically the 90s, basically every car that you will have been in, driven, or seen on the road is what's called drive-by-wire. So that means that the accelerator pedal is not connected to anything other than electronics. There is wires connected to it. There is then an electronic motor connected to the throttle body, and it is a computer that takes your foot's position on the pedal and converts that into how open the throttle body is. Now, this is actually a really good thing, because especially with internal combustion engines, if you don't have an electronic throttle body, you have to have an IAC, idle air control valve, because your throttle body can't ever be fully closed, because the engine's still idle. It still needs some air to get in, but you also still need to control how much of that, how much air goes in. And if you just have a cable connected from the pedal to the throttle body, you need a roundabout way for the air to get in while it's idling, and some way to manage that. And if you don't have a computer doing that, that's a pain in the ass. Whereas if you just replace all of that with a pedal, some wires, a computer, and a digital, a motorized throttle body, then that throttle body can do all that idle management for you and open when you mat it. The thing with and actually some of the other nice features are things like throttle maps. So in, say, your comfort driving mode, maybe you don't want the full engine power when you're, you want it to be nice and smooth, so you can have the computer reroute basically how much throttle pedal you get, but you put it in sport mode, you get a nice direct feel. That's all stuff you can do with a drive-by-wire. The thing is, though, that you have redundancy there. So, for example, the throttle pedal that you're matting it on, that has a minimum of 2 sensors. So it used to be potentiometers, but as you see with joysticks, potentiometers drift, and so they swapped to Hall effect and possibly even TMR, although that might be too new actually. But they often have now Hall effect sensors that will take the pedals connected to both of them, and it takes a reading from both of them, and if they don't agree, then it knows that one of them is faulty. It can throw a fault, can put you in limp mode, whatever. But you have that redundancy. You can always drive on one or whatever. There's always some layer of redundancy to that. When you start to mess with things like steering and brakes, though, like, it's one thing to not be able to accelerate. That is an safety concern for sure. But not being able to steer or stop, that one's worse. That one brings a lot more discomfort. Now, to be clear, the Cybertruck isn't the only steer-by-wire vehicle. Lexus has been doing steer-by-wire for a little while, and it does actually offer some really cool possibilities, including dynamic rate of steering depending on how fast you're going, which Lexus does, and it's quite cool. But yeah, I would trust Lexus more than I'd trust Tesla for that. Speaking of Chinese crap, the MG4 Electric is now in a 31k in Australia, so it's really cheap. I forgot about MG. Yeah, there. But not many people are buying them. A lot of people are buying them here. I've seen a lot of them about. The drive system I agree with. It's the steering that seems a little counterintuitive. It feels like it'd be a bit disconnected, and the steering is the one thing I want to feel connected with. Yeah, so what they do is the same thing that your like racing wheels do. It's force feedback. So there's a motor in the steering column that gives you that force feedback depending on what the road's feeling. Although I do kind of agree, and while I am yet to try it, and I would like to see what it's like, I would also be concerned that it won't feel right, let alone the safety aspect. Force feedback. Fanatec EV. Oh, Fanatec's owned by Corsair now. Did I miss anything? Speaking of import, my Joker has arrived in Grimsby. Nice. Have fun. Enjoyed the jogging. 31k, even if it's Aussie, is really expensive for me. 31k in Aussie dollars is probably like, hold on. Yeah, it's 19,000 euros for a whole electric vehicle, brand new. That's ridiculously cheap. Surely the MG. Holy shit! It's under 20 grand. Oh. God. Where's the stock near you? Sure. Interesting. So apparently the MG4 standard EV starts from 27 grand, but there are a load of options to buy it for like under 20. Wow. 20k euros CCA. I don't quite know what you mean CCA. I don't understand CCA. 31,000 Australian dollars is probably 12 packets of Space Raiders and a tube of polos. 31,000 euros here, average 1k monthly income. Right, okay. It's really, I mean, that is really quite the markup. I have to assume it's about 15 grand. It's the only jogging my fast is doing. Have fun. Bit Apple, hello, welcome. I am doing well is quite the stretch. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a couple of interesting videos for you tomorrow and Monday before next week's stream. That one. Hello, Luca. Goodbye, Luca. Yeah. MG is formerly a British brand. Formerly. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you all have a good week. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all have fun. I will try and Stay alive, as always. And yeah, catch you guys next week.